what we did today on our site is we actually looked at Tea Party meetups from July to September, and we organized them by congressional district to see where they are. And the fact of the matter is the Tea Party is strongest when you look at, this is a measure of enthusiasm at least, they're strongest in the places where the districts really aren't in play. They're either solid Democratic or solid Republican. In the top 20 districts where there have been the most meetups, only 2 of those seats are toss-ups. The other 18, they're evenly split between Democrats and Republicans. The other 18 seats are either solid or likely Democratic or Republican. I'm not sure. I think the Tea Party ultimately is a big enthusiasm vote and helps the Republicans in terms of gubernatorial races and maybe in some cases Senate races if they didn't nominate a candidate that's unpalatable. But I'm not sure. What I really want to see going forward for the next couple of weeks is what effect do they have on congressional districts? We act in Washington like these congressional districts, it's one big race. It's not. It's 435 little races, and the vast majority of them aren't going to flip from one party to another. And the interesting thing is when you look at the enthusiasm, maybe the Tea Party doesn't play the role that we think it does in these congressional races.
So, Greg, getting back to the Don't Ask, Don't Tell repeal attempt in the Senate this week, is that the kind of thing that has an impact on Democrats in terms of energizing them? And Karen was suggesting there that the Democrats knew they weren't going to get through the Senate. They didn't get a single Republican vote on this. Does it work? Does this help energize the Democratic base?
I think there was some raw political calculus going on here. One of the things that Harry Reid did was he added an amendment to speed up the path to citizenship for immigrants. Mm-hmm. This was clearly aimed at motivating the Hispanic vote, especially in the Southwest, where Harry Reid is in a very tight race for his own re-election. Now, we've seen this movie before. He already tried doing this with the cap-and-trade bill earlier this year, and he promptly lost Lindsey Graham, who was the major Republican sponsor of that. Not, I don't think, because Graham is intrinsically opposed to it, but this immigration is a big controversial issue, and the notion that you're going to make any significant progress this year on that it's just not on. And so going back to what Karen was saying, I think that they knew this wasn't going to pass. So as I read the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the failure of the Pentagon authorization bill to pass, it was mostly a result of this calculus. Now, Harry Reid switched his vote at the very last minute and voted against it. Now it's an odd little maneuver that preserves the prerogative for him to reintroduce the bill stripped of some of these controversial amendments, because one way or another, the Pentagon has to get funded.
And Vice President Biden even called Susan Collins saying, please, will you vote in favor of the defense authorization bill? She didn't in the end, Karen. Had they really thought she might do?
There are very few people on the other side of the aisle that the Democrats can work with at all, and she is one of them. So it was probably worth a shot. But interestingly enough, Maine is one of the states where the Republican primary process has been, where the Tea Party has a great deal of influence among the relatively, small group of people who vote in a Republican primary. So Susan Collins and Olympia Snowe, who's up more sooner than Susan Collins, really have to be watching their right flank right now.